Off Truck Stop Load Board Pro for 6 months. The best tool for serious carriers. Don't miss out. Click the link in the description to get 20% off Load Board Pro for 6 months. Need capital to grow your business or cover unexpected expenses? Rock Financial has your back. Whether you're looking for a flexible line of credit, a fast cash advance, or tailored working capital solutions, Rock Financial makes it simple to get funded, often in as little as 24 hours. No hidden fees, an easy application, and real support from people who know the business. Ready to take your hustle to the next level? Tap the link in the description to get started with Rock Financial today. Wish insurance was this easy? With LogRock, it's like magic. Real coverage appears when you need it. No tricks. Get covered now. Click the link in the description.
Warning: the following content contains strong language and may not be suitable for children. This content is primarily for adults, as this is a trucking channel and truckers have filthy mouths. Please don't tweak if I say viewer discretion is advised.
What up? Come on in, make sure you guys hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on all post notifications. How's everybody doing this afternoon? What's today? Thursday, September 11th. How's everybody doing? Come on in, make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications. Guys, if you need working capital for your business, loans, business lines of credit, so on and so forth, working capital, Rock Financial is the solution for you. Click the link in the description for all your working capital needs for your box truck business, or your semi-truck business, whatever business that you may be in. They have options for you. Also, if you need commercial insurance coming into the business, it's an owner-operator, semi-truck, box truck, cargo van, you're a gigger, and you need commercial insurance, there's also a link in the description for LogRock, not to be confused with Rock Financial, which is the other channel sponsor. This is LogRock. This is the commercial sponsor, commercial insurance sponsor. Also, if you're already in the business and you're up for renewal, it's always best to shop around. All right, always best to shop around every year, a few months prior, before your policy rolls over. To always shop for the best prices on the market. So you can also click that link in the description as well. How you guys doing this afternoon? Hope everybody is doing well. I know it's been a minute since I did one of these afternoon live streams, maybe like a week and a half or 2 weeks. I know I've done the box truck, the trucker, what's that show called? The broker versus trucker show. I know I've done that Wiseman I did with Kurt, but I really haven't done one of these afternoon cook-ups. Maybe in about a week and a half, 2 weeks. I was doing them like at least 3-4 times a week, but I haven't done one in a while. But we're gonna try. No, you know what? I can't promise you that because I got some shit going on. But I'm gonna try to get them in as frequent as I can. All right, so come on in, guys. Make sure you guys click the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications. Shout out to Sage in the building. Shout out to Sheridan Forbes. Shout out to Roger Lacey. Shout out to all the MGM members. Shout out to Dub G. What's going on? Shout out to Box Truck Jan. Shout out to Jonathan. Shout out to everybody else that's watching. I think we're in that another little time period where I see that the space is kind of dismal. This is a dismal time for people in trucking. Everybody's upset. Everybody's angry. Everybody's sad. Why does Kirk always call me when I go live? It's like it never fails. As soon as I go live, he calls me. Can somebody, one of you Kirk stands that's watching that don't ever say nothing in the chat, text your leader and tell him I'm live, please? Thank you very much. Hold on, let me text him real quick and tell him I'm live. I'm live, buddy. You calling me? I'm live. All right, boom. All right, so boom. So yeah, everybody's shout out to Ben Uzi. Everybody's sad and upset, man. I don't get it. But anyway, nonetheless, we got to keep it going because there's people that watch that want to get to it, and that's who we're going to talk to. Uh, something's been coming up recently. Something's been coming up recently, and I think the first person that said was a content creator that came up on the channel maybe about 2 weeks ago. And then I've seen this be a topic of discussion. I think Sage mentioned it while he was reviewing something yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. But then a comment came up in the comment section of last night's show that kind of reiterated this whole $250 thing. So I said, I want to talk about that. I want to talk about that. I want to talk about that because when the first time I heard it, I think Kirk and said content creator were going back and forth. But since it's the topic of discussion now, I like jumping on the things that are trending in the space. And since somebody put a comment a couple hours ago under the live stream from last night, I'm going to talk about it. And this person said, F that. Let me share it. Where's my share button? He says, F that. Who is this? Big Sammy Smoke said, F that. My truck not moving for anything under 250. I don't care if it's going 2 miles. So I want to talk about this whole 250. My truck, I'm not moving my truck for nothing less than 250. First thing I want to know is who made this rule? Who came up with this rule? Can somebody in the chat tell me how did this rule come about? Because I've heard this not just in middle mile and the number it ranges 200. Some people say 250, 270. Like who made that number? Like who determined that? If you agree with that, put one in the chat. If you agree that you're not gonna move your truck, no matter what niche you fall under, and you had this specific number, put a 1 in the chat if you fall in those guidelines. Put a 1 in the chat. And also, if anybody knows where this information came from and how this information started, like direct me in the chat. Drop a link or a name in the chat. Does anybody here that operate like that? Man, I ain't move my truck for less than X amount. Anybody operate like that? Man, y'all a quiet bunch today. Anybody? Yes, no, maybe so. 1 in the chat if you got a number that you ain't moving for. Johnny Bravo said rental truck companies made it up. So Johnny Bravo, you not moving for less? What's your number? What you ain't moving for? Kenny said he operate like that. So Kenny got a number that he ain't moving unless that we meet that number. Okay. What's the number? What's the number? What's the number? What's the magical number, y'all? 250? Is it 250 for y'all too? Because this person said he ain't gonna move even if it was 2 miles for 250. I'm gone. I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't care what it is. I'm gone. That's across the street. I don't care what we doing. I'm gone. Johnny Bravo say minimum 500. Now let me ask y'all this. Johnny Bravo, how long you been in business? Cause see, I think as you become tenured in business and you generate wealth in business and you become set, you have paid off equipment, you have money in the bank, I think you get to a point where you can have a little bit more preference. But a lot of guys that I hear talk like this, they're still in the hustle phase as far as the grind and the grit phase of their business. And if you're still in the grind and the grit and there's no level of comfortability there, like I'm just paralleling this with my grind and my grit days. If there was a profit on the table, I'm gone. I know my numbers, and if it's a profit, I'm gone. And I'm gonna tell you why a little later. And that goes back to the mindset of how people look at business. A lot of people don't look at their box truck business as a business. That's why you hear a lot of, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. I ain't moving my truck. First of all, Marcus never owned a truck. I've never owned a box truck. Now, some of you be like, I knew you was lying. I knew you never had, even though I've shown them. Some people get what I just said. The ignorant individual missed what I just said. Marcus never owned a box truck. I've never had a box truck in my government name. So when a lot of people say, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that, that tells the story right there. I don't dictate shit. Business dictates it. I move with what the business dictates. So when I hear people say, man, I ain't moving, like Buddy in this comment section and everybody else who say that shit, that tells a lot. It tells a lot. I've done a lot of things that I personally didn't like. I talk about it all the time. I personally didn't like it. Business don't care what I like. The business sees revenue, opportunity on the table. We need that. We know our numbers. This job may not be as profitable as the last job, but there is a profit there, a profit that's worth taking, a profit that's not worth leaving on the table. So when I see people say, oh, I got this magical number, I don't even care if it's 2 miles. I'm not leaving that on the table. I'm coming to get that, because the individual who thinks like that, they're looking at that money, they're looking at it from a minimalistic point of view, because that money's going to come in and they're already thinking about how they're spending it. See, that little profit right there, where you may think is little, to me, I'm already thinking about not how I'm going to spend it, but how I'm going to flip it, because that's going to get added to the pot with the rest of the money, and we just going to push it out. And whatever that profit is, if it's $250, and let's say we profit half of that, let's say we profit $125 from that. That $125 ain't going in my pocket. That $125 is going to go into something else that's going to turn that $125 into $250. Why would I leave that $125 on the table when I can bring that $125 and double it? So when I hear people talk like this, it's crazy to me. To me, every job is different. I know my numbers, but every job is different. If you look at this, man, I ain't doing this for less than this, it's crazy, because every opportunity that gets presented to you is different. Every single opportunity is different. I've taken jobs, me personally, knowingly at a loss. Talked about it. Because I knew taking said jobs at a loss, initially, I would get my money back on the back end later on. It's called building relationships. I'm going to get into that a little bit later on too. Come on in, make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications. Now, a lot of people are going to not agree with this. All right, show me your 5-year business plan operating like this, and I can show you mine. I've showed my books. I've showed my books throughout my tenure. I've shown you how to make money by not being greedy. Just taking a little bit from here, a little bit from there, a little bit from here, a little bit from there, throw it in all into the pot and watch it add up. You show me your 5-year plan operating with this type of mindset, I can show you. I can show you the results of mine operating the opposite of that. I was talking to somebody this morning about why people think like that, and the person said, not somebody that's like in my Discord, so this is like somebody I know in real life. He said, you know why people say that shit? It's because it sounds cool. Oh man, I ain't moving my truck for less than 250. I ain't moving my truck for less than, man, my truck don't move for less. Because it sound cool. It sound tough. It sounds like people say, man, I know my worth. I know my worth. Fuck your worth. This goes back to what I talk about. This my shit. My. I've never, and I've said this since I've been creating content, I never look at myself. I don't even structure my business like I'm the owner. I don't even put myself as the CEO. Nothing. I'm just a high paid employee. I don't want shit to do with shit. See, a lot of people got this they want to own something. They want to be known for owning and having. They want to walk around with the fucking shirt. They get the shirt made with their name and CEO, owner, all that goofy shit. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. I don't want shit. All I want is the money. If you want to play suicide, you want to play Russian roulette because you got this. I'm not moving my truck for less than this. Go ahead. You'll be appalled if I've told you some opportunities that I've taken at specific profit margins. You'll be surprised that I've knowingly taken jobs, and I've talked about some of this stuff in the past, at a loss, knowingly out the gate. For all you middle mile guys, because you middle mile guys are who struggle the most. One formula fucks y'all up, and that's cost per mile. Let's say your truck costs you $1.80 to run. Anything paying above that is profit. Anything paying above that is profit. Costs you $1.80 to run. If you get a 20-mile load at $150, and let's say your cost is about $40, that means $110 profit for, let's say, maybe an hour's of work. There's people that will turn that shit down. And to me, I don't understand why. Is it because you don't know the numbers? Is it because you have this mythological ideology in your mind that your truck ignition shouldn't crank for less than $250? So you sit. If you're in the grind and the grit phases of your business, who are you to frown at $110 an hour? I've taken routes that profited $50, $60, $75, $100 a day. Because I know how this business works. See, a lot of you guys that are single owner operators, and it's not to pick on you, this is an industry that, to get the type of money and the type of lifestyle that a lot of you guys were sold, you have to do it at scale. Now, that's the truth that a lot of people ain't going to tell you that's in content creation. Why? Because most of the people that are in content creations aren't at scale or never operated at scale. To be able to understand and decipher the difference of being a single owner operator and seeing the results and how to navigate and maneuver when they came in as a single owner operator in comparison to operating at scale. This whole 250 or 275 or 225 minimum, it ignores the reality of cost-based pricing. When people think like that, they're thinking from emotion, not math. See, I look at things from math. You may turn down something that pays a certain amount, and then once you calculate your cost, you say, fuck it, I'm gonna make $50. If to me that $50 is worth going to get, I'm gonna go get it. If I'm in the grit and the grind phases of my business, where I'm eager and I'm ambitious because I'm trying to get to that next level, I'm definitely going to get it. Why? Because it's going into the pot. What happened to the money goes into the pot with the rest of the money and it adds up? What happened? I can take this 50 and put it into something else. And we could talk about that a little. You know what? I'm gonna go run that because I could take that 50 and I can just put that over because my business has a portfolio and we can just make that 50 and then I just throw that straight into the business portfolio for the day. I just DCA that into that and add that on top of to whatever our daily DCA is. So that's an extra 50 that we could throw into that. And we could flip that over there. I'm not leaving nothing on the table if it makes sense. I need that 5. I need that $10. I need that 20 over there, that 100, that 1,000, that $8.25. I need it all. I was telling somebody earlier this year, last year in the Discord, who's starting a business, and I gave them a play. I'll give it away now. I said, man, you need to do a marketing strategy for the summer. $99 couch deliveries. $99. I said, just trust me. I said $99. Man, but man, you gotta go pick it and wrap it up and move it into the van or the truck and then take it to where it needs to go and then unload it and unwrap it. I said, look, bro, this is something that I did in my early days of moving. This is how, let me explain to the knuckleheads something. When you're starting a business, you have to acquire customers. You have to have marketing plays to acquire customers. So here's what I told you. You do the $99 couch delivery. It's not as much work as you think. Typical couch pickup and delivery, it may take you 20 minutes on the pickup. I don't care if it's in an elevator, a third floor walk up. It's a couch. You go in there, you wrap the thing, you take it, you put it in the truck. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be within the city. Probably a 5 to 10 mile radius. This individual is in Michigan, Detroit. It's going to take you about 10, 15 minutes on the drop. An average should take you about 30, 45 minutes. That's $99. The thing is $99 attracts a customer. Why? Because if a customer goes to a store and they buy a couch at home at let's say Bob's or Ashley, the average delivery now is about $1.50. So a person who's buying, let's say, a sofa that's looking for a service provider to move a sofa from here to there, is probably buying it on a marketplace, right? They're probably buying it on Facebook Marketplace or some type of marketplace where they bought a sofa. So if they're buying a used sofa, they're looking for an economical delivery solution. They're not looking to pay a premium price. So you market it at $99 and you'll get multiple deliveries a day. He listened to Big Mark because, Big Mark knows what he's talking about because I got the experience and tenure. Man, Mark, you the GOAT. Man, I'm doing like 5, 6 of them. I had like 6 today, man. That was a quick $600. Only took me like 4 hours. And you know what else that does? Because some people are like, I ain't doing that for no $99. You know what that does also? That's customer acquisition that you did not have to pay for. Why? Because you're going to said person's house who's selling the sofa, which is 9 times out of 10 a person who's dwelling in an apartment building. And when you go in there and they see how professional you are, and they see you come in there, your uniform, they see you come with your material, you're professionally wrapping the sofa, you're handling it with care. Hey, you got a car, I'll be moving in August and I need movers. I like the way you guys handled that sofa. I like the way you guys wrapped that. The last movers I had, they didn't wrap nothing. They just threw my stuff in the truck. Boom, customer acquisition. Boom, when you get to the delivery to drop the sofa off, man, I just bought this sofa from the person you picked it up. Man, we just moved into this apartment. The movers that we had sucked. You know what? We're probably going to only be in this apartment for a year. I like the way you guys handled this sofa that I just paid you $99 to pick up. I'm going to call you next August when it's time for us to move again. So now for a $99 couch delivery that you profited, why? Because this marketing technique that I'm giving you is going to allow you to operate and get these deliveries in volume daily. You're also acquiring customers because the same customers that buy and sell furniture online, 9 times out of 10, in most aspects, especially if you're in a bigger city, are customers that are going to be moving. So now that $99 delivery that you got that you're profiting on turns into 2, let's say $600-700 moves next summer. Let's say an average of a 1-bedroom. Let's say in Chicago or New York, let's say somewhere between $500 to $750 for the person you picked it up from, the person you dropped it off. So now that $99 couch that you profited from next August turns into $1,500. Now there's an individual out there that say, you know what, I'm not touching that couch for $99. Fuck you. I need $250. Mark gonna go touch that couch for $99 like I did back when I was getting started. And that's why majority of my business by year 3 or 4, 40% of my business was repeat and referral customers. Why? Because I understood customer acquisition. You can sit around and with these 250s and I ain't moving for 300, you can say, fuck you, Mark. Fuck you. I know my work. Cool. The difference between me and you is you going to be sitting. My shit going to be moving. And that $99 customer today is an $800 customer next year. And the year after that, when they move again, is another $800. And then in between, they referred me to 5 people. That's another $800 times 5 within the next year. And then those 5 people referred me to another 10 people, so on and so forth. I can give you examples of how that works in final mile. I can give you examples of how that works in middle mile. So why would you let your vehicle sit because you don't understand business? If I would have operated with that type of mindset at the beginning, you know where I would be right now. I wouldn't be sitting here talking to your ass. I swear for God, if I operated with that mindset years and years ago, I wouldn't be here. Why? Because I wouldn't have created and built the relationships that I did in Final Mile. I wouldn't have built a customer base, a massive customer base that I did in the early 2010s. So I wouldn't have made the money that I made. I wouldn't have scaled at the rate that I scaled because I wasn't putting myself out in front of people. You mean to tell me you wouldn't go 2 miles for $250? You a goddamn fool. I need that. Let me get that. Let me get that. I don't even gotta be in a truck and send a driver. Fuck it. Pay him the cost. Fuck it. Company make $50. Shit is going up the street and around the corner. Fuck are you talking about? Because I know how to take that 50 and turn that 50 into 500. And I just told you. See, I know how to take $99 and turn it into thousands. I just showed you how to take a $99 play and turn it into thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. Now, some people still sitting there, man, fuck you, I ain't moving my truck. Fine. You're going to be working for the rest of your life. Promise you. You are going to be working and looking and sitting and waiting for the rest of your life. Because you looking for that show. You looking for the right now. You playing I'm playing today. You can't play the day game with a business, baby. You got to play the long game. You can't play the short game as a business owner. That's why when I hear people say this shit in the comments, and then I hear other people, content creators, say this shit, like, man, what's known don't need to be explained. Business is not a short game. It's a long game. Nobody gets in business for the short game. You get in business for the long game. So what are we talking about? You know, I love a good debate, but won't nobody come up and debate me no more. I wonder why. I love making people look crazy. I enjoy it, actually. I love showcasing my business acumen versus ignorance. I wish people would stop drawing off emotions because they dislike a person or they disagree with a person and think about what they say before they say it, or think about what they say before they type it based off how they feel. I don't run off emotion. I run off numbers. I run off logic. You can sit. I'm going to go get that money. You want to reject opportunity? Nah, to me, you reject the momentum. I just proved it to you. I just proved it to you from a customer acquisition on the moving side. Let's talk about something else. Let's go into a final mile play. There's been plenty of logistics companies that I've worked with in the past. Some contracts, the margins are really, really good. Some margins, some contracts, the margins are okay. Some contracts, the margins are very, very, very minimal. And I've had opportunities that I've operated at a loss. Container Store is one that I operated at a loss. That route I operated daily at a loss. Why? Because at that particular time, for that particular 3PL, I was running 3 other trucks that the margins were really, really good. I was utilizing my leverage. I became, for that 3PL, the go-to company in this market. Chicago is a tough market. It's even tougher now, but it's always been a tough market. For this particular 3PL, I was the go-to guy. I was the cleanup guy. One, I'm an MC. I'm a master contractor. And I was the only master contractor for that 3PL. Most of the other people that they deal with were ICs. IC, truck breaks down, they don't show up. Who do they call? Mark. Hey, Mark, you know, we had this guy not show up, or this guy's truck broke down. You got an extra truck, or do you think you can take these stops and filter them in and spread them out into some of your other routes that you may have in the area? Mark always going to say okay. You know why Mark always going to say okay? Because I'm building up my leverage. I'm going to use that against you. I may make money on the front end now, I may do it to help you out, but if I'm doing it to help you out, then you know you got to help me out because I know how valuable I am in this market. Why? Because you showcase it to me every day. Every day you calling and you need help. So at this particular time, I'm running 4 routes for this company. 3 of them we're making great money on. Mark, I need a favor, man. This contract container store, it doesn't pay much. It doesn't pay much. But man, I need you to do this. We can't keep nobody on this contract because it just don't pay nothing. If the ICs can't afford to run it, what makes you think I can run it? I need more than an IC. I'm an MC. How much do it pay? You told me I took it 100% of the revenue that the company paid us, I gave it straight to the driver. So that means the operation cost that was associated with that, the company ate it. Still was profiting because the other 3 trucks was profiting. We just reduced the margin, right? Collectively from the other 3 trucks that we were operating for that contract, and the losses that we were taking just lowered the cost because those were cumulative. It just lowered that profit margin slightly. That's it. Still profiting. But that's a favor that I did. And this is a company that I've always done work for. And guess what? A lot of the people, and this is the second 3PL that I ever got with. And this is 2013. Do you know I still have a relationship with them today? Those people that were recruiters back then are executives now. Whenever they needed something throughout the years, when we parted ways professionally because I outgrew that form of dealing with logistics companies, when I started cross-docking, what I was doing at that level in those particular times, I outgrew that. It's nothing they could do. There's nothing that they could pay to warrant me allotting trucks to that company. But there were special opportunities that arose with that company that they would reach out and they would get in contact with me. Or when they outbid another 3PL and they get a new contract in this market, Chicago, New York, LA, Houston, Dallas, Atlanta. These are big markets, but when you're talking Chicago, New York, LA, whenever a 3PL gets a new contract in these 3 markets, they have to make a great impression. So whenever new contracts arise, who do you think they call? We need help. We just got this new contract. We need trucks. We want you to run it. I already know we're only going to run it a short time period just so that they can make a great impression, but they're going to pay me handsomely. Because I'm there to just make sure that the launch into this market goes efficiently. They know the trucks are going to be there. They owe me this. Me doing shit for them at a loss or me doing shit for them at small margins, now is when I'm making money handsomely for the relationships that I built. And we've had this relationship since I moved away from running my trucks for this company. We moved away from them maybe in 2017. Yesterday, the guy who was the recruiter for them emailed and texted me. We had a nice text message conversation. He reaches out to me time and time again with opportunities. I haven't heard from him uh, in a couple years, but they just got a new contract here in Chicago for what everybody's looking for: dedicated. We need trucks, Mark. This is why relationships work. This is why sometimes certain people and certain entities, you don't go upside their head. You just take a little bit. Why? Because it's a long game. It's not a short game. It's about building relationships and networking. This is that part of why your truck sits. You can let your truck sit. You can get presented with an opportunity and pass it because you feel like you're worth this much. You're still profiting if you would have took it, but you would only profited this much. But you feel like you're worth this much, so you let an opportunity pass because you feel like you should get this instead of taking this, which can turn into a long relationship that over a period of time will get you that. So now, even with me being retired, the relationships that I've built over the course of years, I can pass these opportunities over to people that I coach and I, help out, people that are my members, people that are in my Discord, people that I've built a relationship with over the years. I can still pay opportunities forward based on the relationships that I made 13, 14, 15 years ago. I ran this fucking company, Container Store, at a fucking loss. This is yesterday. You still have trucks in Chicago area. Hey, Mark, it's been a minute. I hope this email finds you well and that everything has been going well with you. We were awarded some dedicated work in Chicago area and want to know if you still had trucks out there and are interested in a few dedicated routes. This will be delivery and assembly living room furniture, simple, quick installs, nothing complex. Let me know. I blocked out because I don't need y'all trying to go to the source, talk about, man, I know Mark. Mark sent me. No, we not going to do that. You got to go through Big Mark. Senior Director of Operations, AIT Worldwide. Hey, Mitch, get in contact with me because I want you to be one of the ones that gets one. I'm going to give you one of those contracts. Mitch, hit me up in the Discord. I'm going to get you one of those contracts because I know you was looking for dedicated. So I'm going to get you one. Hit me up in the Discord. I'm going to plug you in. Longevity in relationships, customer acquisition. How much does it cost you to acquire a customer? A lot of you guys that operate with that mentality, when you think like that, it's just like watching money just walk right out the door. What makes you think that every time you deal with someone, they're only going to deal with you that one time? Why aren't you willing to shave a little bit off, take your pride to the side, shave a little bit off, and show an individual, listen, I'm gonna do it for this smaller profit margin, but let me show you what you dealing with when you deal with me. You're gonna deal with a person who's timely, who's efficient, who's professional. I call it give you a little taste. I'm gonna cut you a break and I'm gonna give you a taste. Trucking And I say this all the time, and no matter what niche, OTR, final mile, all the niches. More so with you OTR guys. You OTR guys really don't understand how competitive that niche is. But a lot of y'all act like y'all the God's greatest gift, and you're not. Trucking is a competitive marketplace. The market sets the rate, not you. That's why when you say, yo, I ain't moving my truck, that shit don't oh man, I know my man. It's always gonna be a guy like me that's gonna underbid you. Cause I know the game. I know how to play it. I'm the guy that you're gonna be complaining about saying taking cheap shit, taking cheap that, but I'm profiting from it. I don't give a fuck about how you feel. I need to make this money and I need to add it to the pot. I know how to play the game. I know I don't dictate shit. The market dictates. When you have that mentality, oh, I ain't moving my truck for less than two, somebody gonna move it for less than that. Then what? As this industry becomes more and more competitive, right? As things become tougher and tougher and tougher in the economy, as more people come in, as you have more ignorance come in, because influencers are telling them, the trucking industry is the way to go, get a box truck. If they don't increase the barrier to entry, if all these variables continue to stay in place, the competition is going to get much more fierce. So you're going to sit on your hands because you think you're worth something. No, you don't dictate shit. The market dictates it. So why you saying you ain't going to take shit, you ain't going to move your truck for 250 or nothing nothing less than 250? Somebody going to say fuck it, I'll take it for 150. They could take it for 150 profitably or they can take it for 150 ignorantly. But either way, we know in today's society it's gone. You got more ignorance than you got common sense. See, what you fail to realize is you're competing against the ignorance. The people that you're saying taking cheap freight, not all of them are ignorant. Some of them know what the fuck they're doing and they're taking it profitably, but there's a lot of ignorance out there. So you have to keep that in mind too while you're sitting on your hands. I don't understand this. You think shippers care about your personal threshold? You think your business, I've been telling you guys since day one, your business don't give a fuck about your personal thoughts and feelings and your personal bills. Shippers don't give a fuck about it. Shippers care about cost, reliability, and service. While you park trying to prove a point, that next driver who understands cost, who came into this industry, who's been in this industry over a period of time, and understands the competitive landscape, and understands that this industry runs off supply and demand, and understand there's a high level of ignorance, and this is a big part of his competition, he understands how he needs to operate. He's going to continue to do things to keep his costs low. He's going to continue to make sacrifices so that he can thrive. He's going to take his ego out the equation. He's going to operate off of logic. So while you sitting trying to prove a point, the next person is building a relationship. This mindset, the stubborn mindset, is gonna get you up out the way. You're gonna get yourself up out the way. One thing I can tell you about me, I know how to make money. Anything that I get involved in, I know how to make some money. I've proven it to you. There's been plenty of case studies on this channel in trucking of people that have come up, both that took the information at face value initially and applied it and come up and like, man, I'm here because of you. I've got this many trucks because of you. I listened to what you said about this and it worked. There's been people that didn't take it at face value initially that have come up and said, yo, I didn't even like you at first. I thought you were this. I thought you were that. But the person that I was following, that shit just wasn't working. Then I came back to you and everything you said, I tried it. And then everything that I heard you saying just started to come to fruition. And man, bro, I apologize. Shit, not just even in trucking. I saw, shout out to Cars and Cribs. He did a video, was it earlier this week, where he said the most money he ever made was following me. In another form of investing. Said the most money he ever had in his life. I remember he used to, and he told it, and that's why I'll talk about it now. I already knew this, but it wasn't my story to tell. But he would text me every day, Monday through Friday at 3:34 a.m. in the morning. Mark, what you doing today? And I would just tell him what I would do. And he followed me. He made the most, he said it, the most money he's ever had in his life. And now I ain't going to tell you the amount, but it wasn't no short paper. It wasn't short at all. I ain't going to go into details, but we talking about a lot of money. He also told you, I don't get greedy. I always say greedy pigs get led to the slaughter. Yo, I'm going to take the profits. This is a lot of money that was made in a short period of time. I'm going to take all this money and I'm going to exit. He said he stayed. And if you saw that video, he told the rest of the story, even down to the Bitcoin. I told him to sell the Bitcoin. Everybody else, Bitcoin. I said, yo, if you sell the Bitcoin, take the money from the Bitcoin and put it into this. If Bitcoin goes up, you're going to make more money in these things that I'm in, that you're following me in, that if Bitcoin does go up to this number, this is what you're going to make, versus if you follow me, you're going to make this. And he said he was right, because I know what I'm talking about. Not saying I'm the smartest person in the world, but anything that, listen, if I'm putting my money into it, you better motherfucking believe that there's a lot of research, because I don't like losing money. I don't like losing, period. I have to win. I don't like taking losses. I don't. So once I invest into something, I become obsessed with it. Before I put my money, I'm already obsessed in the understanding of what I'm about to put myself into. And I know when it's time to move the fuck on. So now that I've only proven to you from the consumer as the viewer that I know what the fuck I'm talking about, because I've taken individuals and given them plays and made them money. They've come back and told you. I've done it with content creators. But yet and still people want to challenge. Cool. I'm cool with that too. I know how to make money. It's not hard. It's relatively easy as you grow older and you just gain knowledge on things, and you just have an understanding of how money works. I understand the use case for money. You look at money as a necessity for survival. I look at money as a tool. I know how to generate it. I know what I'm talking about. I'm not stubborn. I've built relationships. I'm in circles with people that think like me. I'm in circles with people who have opportunities. I can take a guy, like I just said, Mitch, DM me. I'm going to get you this contract. I've gotten other people contracts because of the relationships that I've made over the years of my tenure in business. I have relationships with most of these 3PLs because of the position I sit in from content creation. Uh listen, if you don't think like Amazon, these 3PLs, these trucking big mega carriers, if you don't think they don't watch content, you're a fool. They have departments specifically for content creation. I have to do a video one day this week for one of these companies. Like I've been consulting these companies for over the past year. I don't have to talk to you. They watch content, and as execs of the 3PLs, they watch content creators and they know who knows what they're talking about versus who doesn't. This is why they say, Mark, yo, can we pay you to jump into a Zoom or a Teams meeting? We really are having issues with compliance on the dock, and you know, corporate really can't relate, or we can't really, interfere or interact in certain aspects with the contractors, but we need to be able to communicate to understand why compliance or claims are going through the roof. Can you jump into a Zoom next Friday at X amount of time and advise us what's the fee for something like that? Network. You got people that talk crazy to me, and I could probably bless your goofy ass. Ain't nothing but a phone call from me. You had one up here last week. Man, Mark, I guess got something with so and so. I said, who you talk to? John? Yeah, John. How you know? Tell John I said, what's up? Matter of fact, tell him to go ahead and just run that through to you. That's my homie. The relationships that I built over the course of the years, a lot of those relationships, I would have never got into a situation with some of these people, with some of these with some of these 3PLs and some of these companies, if I would have had this, I got to take this much. Man, every single opportunity I got with a 3PL came with negotiations. But I understood very early on that I needed to scale, and I knew that the margins in this industry were very, very small. And I was going to make the money that I wanted to make, that a lot of you guys want to make. I knew I had to do it at scale. So when guys like NW Lou that came up, they used to make fun of me because I decided to reinvest all the money back into the business, and I decided to stay at home a little bit longer instead of moving out, because that money that I would have to pay the cost of living could be reinvested back into the business. That's why individuals like that, and it's not to bring him in it, but I'm just doing a comparison analysis of mindset. This is why he's where he's at his age, and this is why I'm where I'm at. This is why he's complaining, saying I'm sitting on a soapbox and upset because he can't figure shit out at his age. And this is why I'm sitting here talking about it. So you could have a poor mindset or you could have the right mindset. If you think of your truck as my truck, you already have the wrong mindset. I've never owned a truck personally. Everything's is the businesses. I'm just an employee for the business that makes the most money in this corporation. I'm a principal. But the business tells me, yo, Mark, everybody left the office at 5. Yo, black ass got to stay. Why? Because there's shit that still needs to be done. We got to get them off the clock. Genesis, my brother, Stack, all the office staff, they got to go home. We can't. I have to stay late. To what time? We don't know. I might be here at 8. I might be here at 9. I might be here at 1 in the morning. Why? The business dictates. My day ain't done. I'm on salary. Fuck Mark and Mark's feeling. Hey, babe, we can't make it to Roof Chris. I know, I told you, I know you want to stuff chicken breast tonight. But yeah, I'm going to get cussed out. I'm going to be all types of motherfuckers, this, that, and the third. You dig what I'm saying? But man, the business come first. The business is dictating something that occurred today at work that requires me to stay in this office past a certain time. Mark don't dictate shit. I've never dictated nothing. The business is always dictated. Mark, it's time to go get another truck. Mark, it's time. It might be time to get the fuck on. These dudes out here tweaking. Man, these motherfuckers don't want to come to work. These new people we hiring, is their integrity ain't the same as the guys that we was hiring 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago. They ain't got no belts. How the fuck is these want to do final mile delivery or moving and you ain't got no belt? Your pants is hanging. You steady got to hold your pants up. This ain't efficient. Pandemic come, man, Mark. The business is dictating. I'm listening to the business. Man, the trucks are going for how much? They going for that much? For real? For real? Let me look into this. What you gonna do? Warren Buffett say, when people are greedy, you should be fearful. And when people are fearful, you should be greedy. You always stood on that, Mark. What you gonna do? You want to thug it out? Or you want to take this money and get the fuck on? Because we might not get this opportunity no more. We done did some good work. We done made a lot of money. What you want to do, Mark? Shit, what you think I should do? You dictating this shit? Let's get the fuck gone. I'm tired, boss. All right, let's roll. I think that's it, bro. I think the people that got the point got it. I think the people that don't. If you didn't get the point, you ain't gonna never get it. That's just facts. Because I don't think I could break it down more simpler than that. You know, business is business. You are you. I've never been. I'm an individual. I run off what the business tells me to do. I do what the business dictates. I've always been like that. If I in my building days, if I would have did the things that I had in my mind to do, I would not be here talking to you. Because mentally, I wanted to do other things simultaneously while running the business. I wanted to do other things, but a lot of the things that I wanted to do personally while running the business, the business dictated otherwise. It wouldn't let me. You know, Kirk always likes to pull my leg on certain things, but bro, like the business wouldn't let me. I always put the business first. And it cost me a lot of things. It was a lot of sacrifice. So the choice is yours, man. You know, I don't like me personally. If I spend $4 over here, and I'm just using easy numbers, and I can go make $8. I can get $8 back. I made $4. Now in the position I'm in now, yeah, I'm $99 couch deliveries at this point in my. I'm straight. I ain't got to do that. Once I started cross docking, I didn't even have the capacity to do those types of jobs no more. I passed that shit off to the new cats that's coming up. We doing big boy shit now. We getting contracts to run shit, cases and cases of water to the Taste of Chicago. I got contracts to run fucking stage equipment to fucking Lollapalooza and shit. We don't have time to do that shit that I was doing 7, 8 years ago. That was the grind. Those little bitty jobs that motherfuckers would turn down put me in front of motherfuckers. Yo, you know what? Y'all did a great job. You know, I own so-and-so stage and lighting, Chicago stage and lighting. You know, we got the contract for Lollapalooza. Man, I want to circle back with you guys in June, a couple months before Lollapalooza, because I may have an opportunity for you to move stage equipment. This little $199 couch delivery that you might turn away turn into an $8,000-$9,000 job. You don't know who these people are that's calling you because you want to be greedy. A lot of people living in this type of city, you don't know who you're gonna meet. I need it all. I need it all. All right, man. I'm done. Take a few questions and I'm gone. 324. Now, if you disagree, I wish you the best of luck. Questions, comments, concerns? Cassandra says, thanks for your diligence in teaching our community. I watch your videos and apply your life principles to my life. I am not in trucking, but your logic transcends to so many areas. Stay encouraged. Appreciate that, Cassandra. See, people watch me that's not even into trucking. Appreciate that, Cassandra. Hey, I listen, me personally, and I can't speak for other people. I'm not going to turn this camera on and talk a bunch of shit that don't make sense. I'm just not going to do it. That's why when I drop my link all the time, any challenge that I get, I don't get up. I drop the link because I know 9 times out of 10, the person who's clicking the link is clicking it off of feeling. I done said something that they feel it hurt their feelings. They didn't take time to think about it logically. See, I do a lot of shit to bait motherfuckers. Because I know most people draw off emotion instead of logic. In business, you can't draw off emotion. If you drawing off emotion in business, you're gonna make a lot of bad decisions. You gotta make your decisions based off of logic. Every decision has to be off like I don't feel nothing. I can have a person that been working for me 10 years. I had a motherfucker who worked with me from 2012 to goddamn it, the damn near end. And guess what? That motherfucker wanted to act a fool after all these years. Man, it's up. Yeah, you've made the company a lot of money. I remember he had a destination wedding. I flew me and my girl to his destination wedding. I looked out for this guy. He was in my A team, my A class, because I separate the A, B, C. He was up there to A. He was one of them guys. When it comes to this final mile movement, he was one of them guys. Whenever we got new shit, he would be one of those guys that I would send for new contracts to make a great impression. Just like AIT reached out to me yesterday, the senior director of operations reached out to me. Why? Because they need this new contract. They want somebody because it's not posted. Why? They rather hire someone like me to get that contract started to make a great impression. This is why a lot of shit opportunities they don't never make it to the board. This is something that Kirk talked about in middle mount. I'm talking about it in final mount. You see, he reached out. Yo, you got trucks. We'll just give it to you. It'll never get listed on Indeed. Based on relationships. So like the middle mile guys, the guys that's operating, that have to operate on the board because you never fucking built a relationship. When you got senior directors emailing you and texting you, after this email, I got a text. We had a nice little text message conversation. Relationships. If he can solve a problem, right? New contract, large market, we need to make a good impression. Yo, Mark gonna get the job done efficiently. Fuck it, we just run. Let's see what Mark got. We can lean on Mark. Mark gonna get that shit done. Why? Because Mark want that money. See, I'm gonna get this shit done because I want the money. It'll never make the board. Relationships. The guys in middle mile that's having to operate in that cesspool of competition, that's why you complaining. But you never build no relationship because you got your bar set so high and you are nobody. Nobody knows you. Nobody knows you. You ain't did nothing yet. Your name is not out there. You're not one of them guys. And it's not nothing wrong with that because we were once all that individual. We all once had to start from somewhere. But you got to work your way up. So like the guy in the comment section. Yo, y'all competing in a cesspool of competition. We ain't competing in that. I'm in a position now because of everything that I've done. Yo, I can say, Mitch, you know what? Hey, Rich, what you need? I got somebody that, I'm gonna put you in tune with this person. What you need, a broker? I bet I got you. I'm gonna send you over here. And I don't do that for everybody. I'm not giving my connections and shit that I built over the years to just anybody. I'm giving it to people who I know are going to represent me because the people that I introduce people to are a reflection. They're a reflection of me. So I'm not going to put nobody on that's going to bullshit and make me look bad. Man, Mark, why you sending this motherfucker? Man, this motherfucker ain't worth shit. He ain't worth nothing. Why you send us this? Ain't Mark D? We know you for this. Man, no. I ain't never set myself way up here. Nigga, I need it all. We want to negotiate? I bet. I need what you want? Give me 250. Man, I could do it for 175. All right, so I'm gonna make about. Man, we got this run a few times a week, man. Go ahead and, do it for this time. If everything work out, then, all right, bet, let's run it. He might not get back to me next week, but he might get back to me a month later. But guess what? That's another tool in the tool belt. That connection is a tool. That connection is a tool. I'm gonna look out for you this time. We're gonna make a little money. We ain't gonna make a lot. We're gonna make a little money. I'm gonna look out for you just so I can, just so you know me and I know you. It's business. Fuck, I feel like I'm worth. Nigga, I ain't worth shit. Nigga, I work for the company. The company said go get that, what y'all call it, munyon? Go get that. Shout out to Shanetta Brewster. Shout out to Ivan. Ben Uzi said, "Hey brother, I appreciate your videos. Always inspires me to do great. I also got a question. Do you still do reaction videos? If something comes across that worth me reacting to, I'll do it. Yeah. Yo, Mark, talking about a team. I have a guy that's been one of my A guys, but lately he's fell into the BC group. Tried to get info out of him to see what's wrong, but no success. Any tips? You got to coach him. You might have to work with him to coach him. You gotta work with him to coach him to see what's going on. It might not even be work related. It may be something that's going home. That's another thing. When you are a business owner and you're having to deal with people, you gotta understand that people have personal lives. I've talked about the first time one of my trucks got roofed. The reason why it got roofed, and you know what? The funny thing is, it's the same guy that I was just talking about. The day the truck got roofed, he had literally just pulled. He had probably been pulled away from the yard for 10 minutes. He going up South Chicago instead of busting that left on 75th because 75th is a truck route. He busted left on 76 off South Chicago. The viaduct there is 11. Truck 13 something. 75th is 13.5. Or is it 13.5 right there on 75th in South Chicago? 13.5? 13, I think it's 13.5. Truck 13.2. He busted left. Why? Because that morning his wife told him she was divorcing him. He still came to work, but he came to work with this shit on his mind. He's probably on the phone going back and forth with his wife. I can only imagine. I've never been married, but I could imagine how I would feel if I'm going into work and I wake up that morning, my wife is telling me she wants a divorce. That's on my mind. So I understand why he bust that left a block early. It cost me a lot of money though. Can I fire this guy? No. I had to eat that. So I'm telling you is the issue that you may be having with this individual, it may not be work related, it could be personal. You have to probably work with this individual to and to get an understanding of what's going on. If the work is efficient for the most part, then you probably know it's personal, but you're not going to get it if you're not directly involved with him. If you don't have a relationship with him where he's going to come to you and say, yo, this is what's going on in my life, like this individual did to me, right? Then you're just gonna be lost. So you may have to get around that person to kind of get a clear understanding of what's going on. Mark, I'm in Chicago, but I've been having a problem because of felonies. You know, someone I can go through. I don't know nobody with no gig companies. Gig companies, I have no connections with gig companies. Gig apps ain't working for me. I got a high top sprinter. The only thing I can tell you to do for the high top sprinter, go to T Force. The chick that I knew at T Force, she not even there no more. Rose, she not there no more. But you can go there and apply, see what they say. Go out to Addison to T Force, and also go to it's a spot they'll work with you. Don't Shoot the Messenger. It's a company here they call Don't Shoot the Messenger. Now I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. They ain't gonna pay you all that great. They ain't gonna be that great now, pimp. But you gotta look at back to what I was saying earlier. You know, your situation because of your background is gonna put you in the situation you in. It's gonna limit you. So you have to understand that. So you may have to do some things to get in people's good graces because they'll use that as leverage. Look, yo, all right, well, we'll give you work, but so you may have to, you know, you know, operate on a smaller margin to showcase, yo, I'm reliable, I'm professional, I understand that I have a background and a past that doesn't dictate who I am today, and it doesn't dictate my future. I know I've made some mistakes. I'm willing to demonstrate, if you allow me the opportunity, that I'm professional, I'm efficient, uh and I'll be here on time. You got to sell yourself. You got to sell yourself. So Cole says, can one person move a studio apartment? Depends on what's in the studio. If it's nothing like big and bulky that requires two men, yeah. If it's like a dorm studio or a studio with, let's say, maybe a full size bed frame, one person can move a full size bed frame. Uh, Maybe a small dresser, small chest. Now that all depends on if it's stairs or not. If it's stairs, then no. Elevator, yes. Elevator, yes. As long as like there's nothing really big that's definitely going to require two people, like an armoire or something like that. A large TV, like an 85-inch or 100-inch, something like that. But if it's a small studio and they have studio shit, then yeah. Would I recommend it? No. Because you know, certain things do require two people. I know there's people out there that'll tell you, yo, you can use a dolly and wheel shit up and down stairs. That's a quick way to acclaim. You shouldn't be wheeling dollies up and down stairs. Anybody that showcases that, they don't know what the hell they're doing. They're not professional. So, if there's stairs involved, then definitely not. Because you shouldn't be using a dolly on stairs, especially in interior stairs that are like carpeted or hardwood, things of that nature. No. So if it's like a studio that's, let's say, maybe like a pallet mattress, some boxes, maybe some of those Target plastic chest drawer things that they sell at Target, like those plastic, drawer things that break all the time when you move them, like shit like that, yeah. But if it's standard furniture that's in a studio, I wouldn't recommend it. They denied me at T Force because of driving with no insurance. Oh god, man, you made a lot of mistakes. I see, bro. Yeah, call don't reach out to don't. I do got a contact at Don't Shoot the Messenger, but I ain't gonna hold you, bro. I just reach out to him on your own. See what they say, bro. Reach out to them on your own. See what they say, bro. Go apply. But I'm gonna tell you, Don't Shoot the Messenger is. Do you have an authority? Because they have stuff that may go up into Wisconsin, and they have stuff that may go into Indiana. Chicago ain't got nothing to do with it. I'm in Chicago. I've been in Chicago all my life, and I ain't never got caught with driving without insurance. Now I've been to jail. Now I done sat on 78th and Halsted for a couple hours. I done sat in 111th and Doty for a few hours. I didn't got locked up on some shit before. Now I ain't been to the penitentiary. I ain't been to Statesville, and I ain't been down to Vienna or Vandalia, nothing like that. You did what I'm saying? But I ain't got caught driving without no insurance neither. So, Chicago ain't got nothing to do with it, big dog. They ain't got nothing to do with driving without insurance. Now you might be a YN. Is you a YN? Is he a YN, Pippi? I can't see. I can't see. Is he a YN? Who is this guy? Let's see who this guy is. Is he a YN? He might be a YN. Oh yeah, he a YN. He a YN. You throwing up the middle finger on your thumbnail? You a YN. You talking about business. First thing I would want you to do is change this picture. Because you want to be a business person. So as a business person, you have to change your mindset. You got the picture giving the middle finger. So when I look at this picture on your page and you giving the picture the middle finger, you looking at me. So I feel like you giving me the middle finger. Change the picture, man. Change your energy, bro. The old you can't be the new you if you want to go into business and you want opportunities. That's why I'm saying, like, yo, I don't know you personally, but I want to help you, but I can't go outside, you know, I can't really until I really learn. I've seen you in the chat, you know what I'm saying? I want to, help you, but you got to show me that you helping yourself first. So you need to change your mindset. Your social media needs to start here with your social media. Change that picture, man. Or don't change it. I really don't care, but bro, you energy business, bro. Business. You gotta start thinking like a business person, bro. All right. Call, don't shoot the messenger. I'm gonna give you a name. I'm gonna give you a name, but I ain't gonna give you a number. And everybody can't call this number because it's a local company. So don't everybody try to call and say, man, Mark said call. It ain't gonna work for you because you're not here. Man, let me see. Let me see. All right. The name of the company is called the Delivery Authority. The person you want to ask for, don't use my name now. If I find out you use my name, I'm gonna be upset. So companies don't shoot the messenger. Their subsidiary company is the Delivery Authority. You want to ask for Andy. Just ask for Andy. Say, yo, I got a Sprinter van. I want to work. Let me know how that work out for you. Now, I haven't talked to Andy in a minute, so I don't know if he's still there. 9 times out of 10, he is. Uh, but see if you can get in contact with Andy. He's the guy that makes shit happen there. Hey, Tatted and Trucking, where you from? You from Brighton Park? You look like one of the guys from over there in Little Village or something. Where you from? You from Brighton Park, Little Village? Where you from? You from somewhere southwest or west? Where you from? Where you from, Tatted and Trucking? Are you from Humble Park? Okay, all right. Enough said. Enough said. He from Humble Park. Up off North Avenue somewhere, so we know what's going on. We know what's going on with you, Tatted and Trucking. I know what's going on with you. You probably was something else about 5, 10 years ago, weren't you? You was, hey, was you up and down North Avenue causing havoc over there in Humble Park 10 years ago? Was you terrorizing people over North Avenue in Humble Park? Uh, let's see. Any more questions? Hey, big bro, how much can you make with a 16-foot box truck in Illinois? Millions. Not in a year though, but you can get there. Couple years. You know what you're doing. Uh, all right. Ain't no more questions. Uh, uh, uh. Where would you start with a business plan for a box truck business? Where would I start with a business plan? Would you do you mean as far as where would you start as far as developing the business plan, or once you develop a business plan, where would you start? If you saying where would you start with the business plan, you would start with the mission statement. I would start with the mission statement. And if you're saying where would you start once you develop the business plan, that all depends on the niche you create the business plan for. Like, you need to understand the research aspect prior to you making the business plan. I would research the industry as far as the different niches to determine which niche you want to start with, and then developing a business plan around that niche. So, if I decide to go into final mile, then my business plan would be uh uh tailored for final mile. If I decided to go into OTR, if I decide to go into OTR, my business plan would be centered around OTR. Um, if I decide to start a moving company, then my business plan would be centered around a moving company. Mission statement is like a summary of what you aiming for the business. So you start your mission. Your business plan should start with a mission statement. It's just a summary of what your goals, what you aiming what your goals you're aiming for your company. Tatted and Chuck and got that information, and he got the fuck on. I tried to crack a joke. Notice he didn't respond to none of my jokes about Humble Park and North Avenue. He didn't respond to none of that shit. He got the information he needed, and he got on. Why you didn't respond? He probably ain't watching no more. Why you didn't respond to none of my jokes? Oh, he said I can't speak on that. Now you already know. 'Cause I know. I can just look at you on your thumbnail picture. I said, oh yeah. He won. See, if I ride down North Avenue, you would have been the ones I'd have kept my eye on over there off of North Avenue and Holman somewhere over off of North Avenue, off of North Avenue and goddamn it, North Avenue and North Avenue and Humboldt, right there by the park, right there by that Burger King. Right there by that Burger King, North Avenue and Pulaski, somewhere over there. All up and through there. All up and through there. About 10, 15 years ago, you got to be on your P's and Q's. Everybody, if you was black and you came through there, Disciple Killer, DK, everything was DK. If you black, you coming through there, you automatically GD. You automatically, they all automatically. They all unless they was like under the 6 they self. Unless they was under the 6. But anything that was over there was under the 5. And you coming through there, you automatically, folks. Automatically, just because you black. Oh, you come through that bitch, they dropping it. Like, damn, boy, like. I used to we used to go to this spot. You probably young, you probably don't remember it. Back in the day, it was a spot on right off of North Avenue and Pulaski was a pizza place called Guy's Pizza. I remember we used to go there when I was coming up as a kid. Real good pizza place right there off of North Avenue and was that off of North Avenue in Holman? Or North Avenue and was it North Avenue and Pulaski? I think it might have been off North Avenue and Pulaski. Yeah. Yep. That was back in the day. He 32, so that was way before his time. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. I think enough is enough. I know I done pissed some people off. They upset with Big Mark. But it's all good. All right, y'all. I'm out of here. Peace.